Hi everybody, Ali Akbarian, your resident road safety expert from Mobility Engineering, back again for another Q&A. Thank you very much for sending in your questions, keep them coming in. And as I always say with my trusty subscribe pillow, please hit that subscribe button down there somewhere and help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're inching towards the 500, so let's celebrate at 500, and then when we get to 1,000, we want to get rid of this pillow and find something else. So help us get to that 1,000, and we love your work for hitting that button down there. All right, on to today's video. So today's question, should I say, on today's video. Today's Q&A question is around straps, wheelchair tie-down straps, and basically the question has come in that says along the lines of, I've tied my wheelchair straps down, or my client's wheelchair straps down, and the location where we've got the retractor to where the thing connects onto the car, the hook connects onto the car, means that the strap actually rubs and curves around the function of the wheelchair. And is this okay, and what should I do about it? So that's basically the question. So what we've done is I've set something up here on our training rig in Mobility Engineering at Hornsby, at our assessment facility and training rig here, so you can see basically what we're talking about. I've got one already set up there in the front, similar to what was described over the emails, which was basically like a thing rubbing against the wheel and curving on the front there. And I'll show you a similar kind of thing in the back. So if I do a similar kind of thing in the back with this, what we do is we'll go through like that, and that could either sit up the top like that sometimes, or sit down like that. Now, if you actually go over the top of that and look there, you'll see that that is actually rubbing on the wheelchair there, like so. So that's basically what the situation is, and because of that we're not having, it's a straight-ish line, but it's not straight, and it's not okay for it to be rubbing. So this is the situation that we have with this particular customer, something like this. And is this okay, and if it's not, what should I do? So the first and foremost thing is that it's not okay. So we can't have our straps touching anything or impeding on anything, and they need to be in as straight line as possible. The reason why is for basically two reasons. The first thing is when we're touching something, the car is moving and it's constantly vibrating. So like these cars are moving at a vibrating kind of sort of frequency, if you'd like, as they're driving along the road. Thousands and thousands of vibrations a minute or an hour or whatever it is. And over that period of time, what you'll find is you'll have a big wearing on the belt, or wearing on the hook, or wearing on the actual wheelchair. So that means damage, and that means expenses and potential dangers as well. So that's not an ideal situation. The other thing is if it curves around something, or if it's not in a straight line. When we have an accident, as we've mentioned before, at roughly 50 k's an hour, we have around about a 20 to 30 times of force of our body. So it's a very, very heavy force. We've got, 100 and X kilo wheelchair, probably 120 to 150 kilo wheelchair, that's going to increase its weight by 30. So we're talking 3, 4, 5, thousands and thousands of kilos, right? Moving forward. And those thousands of kilos, what they're going to do is they're going to impact on this strap. So if this strap is bent around like that and thousands of kilos pulls on it, what do you think it's going to do? It's just going to pull it straight. So anything that's in its path is going to be completely obliterated out of the way, basically completely destroyed. So if you've got something that's curved around something and you have an accident, the strap is going to straighten up whether you like it or not, and anything in the way is just going to be flung out of the way, or damaged, or destroyed, or whatever. So again, a very, very potentially dangerous situation. So what do we want to do it correctly? So what we want to do, I'll just demonstrate that for you here, and just a little disclaimer is sometimes these things do jam up a little bit, as most of you have probably experienced yourselves. So it might have a little bit of mucking around, but we'll get there anyway. So what we want to do in the front case actually kind of hints us with the angle. So this comes out on an angle like that. And by the way, we want a big shout out to Sunrise Medical for their Quickie wheelchairs. They provide us with some demo chairs for these videos, so big shout out to them. So what we're doing here is we're sort of following that angle like that. We're locking this retractor in place, and then we're hooking that on like so. So now what we've got, nice straight line, not impeding on anything. And we're going to do the same thing in the back. So we're going to undo this one. bring it out. And again, this comes in a nice straight line straight back. So what we want to do is sort of mount it somewhere in line with that. Straight up. And now you can see that's a nice straight line. It's not impeding on anything. And that's the ideal kind of setup you want. So you can see that's going in a nice straight line out to the side there, and in the back in a nice straight line straight to the anchor point there as well. And this is typically the kind of setup that you want also in the event of an accident as well, because as you can see, things are nice and straight. And as you're moving forward also in an accident, if those straps behind you are straight and less on an angle, they're also just going to be a little bit better in the dynamics from an engineering point of view, I guess. Just a little bit better, not that much difference. The main thing is that they should not touch anything and they shouldn't curve around anything. They should always be in a nice straight line, which you can see here is what we've achieved there. So hopefully that helps, and thank you very much for that question. Thank you for all of those questions. Keep those questions coming in, and as we always say, hit that subscribe button down there, and we'll see you next time.